Hello, my name is Silent Gimmon, and I'm the owner of the TrustIsYou.com and a podcast called Stop Paying Capital Gains Now. I'm inviting you to come to my virtual meeting on October 10th at 4 p.m. East Coast time. Save federal taxes legally. Most people have never heard of the Spendthrift Trust. I want to teach as many Americans what this is and how they can start saving federal taxes year after year, generation after generation. The Spendthrift Trust has come from England way back when King Henry VIII started the Church of England. He got in trouble for chopping off his wives' heads, so he started a church. Go figure, why not? He went to go tax the lords and ladies of England. They went further back into the history of the Magna Carta. It's case law from England. It came to the colonies when we were still a colony with Britain. And the law firm I work on behalf of has a trust that turned 350 years old in 2023, before we were a country. This is in the IRS Tax Code 643B. The Baron families, the rich families of the American history, back in February of 1913, when the tax code went into effect, they purposely made sure this was in the tax code. Most accountants and financial advisors only work in the 300, 400 level. That's where most of the tax returns are done. And 97% of all trusts sold in the United States each year are what's called a family trust. The only thing a family trust does, that's what Susie Orman talks about, that's what my mom and dad had. The only thing that does is avoid probate. This is not your mom and dad's trust. It's going to save you in 4 very important ways. Number 1, federal taxes, year after year, generation after generation. Number 2, keep your information 100% private. Your LLC or your S Corp does not keep it private. I can write a Freedom of Information letter to the Secretary of State or the Corporation Commission. Number 3, I can't stop you from being sued, but you will not have to pay any judgments. And number 4, you won't have to file any of the paperwork, the 2024 Corporation Transparency Act that goes into effect January 1st, 2024. If you don't know about this and want more information, please email me. Now, the Spendthrift Trust, I break it, the full name is Irrevocable, Complex, Discretionary, Non-Grantor Spendthrift Trust. Irrevocable, goes from generation to generation. The Rockefellers Trust is 7 generations old and has almost 400 people under the same EIN, or Employee Identification Number. Complex, this trust can hold money month to month, year to year, decade to decade. Discretionary, whoever the trustees can make the rules for the beneficiaries. I do not do this. Non-grantor, this makes the trust 100% private. When you start up the trust, you're going to have someone who's not a beneficiary sign up for the trust, sign away from the trust. You will need their social security number. I can do this free of charge for you, or somebody else at the law firm can do this free of charge for you. It is not a speed bump. And then the 5th element is a Spendthrift Trust. It has gone in front of the U.S. Supreme Court twice. Both times the Supreme Court has favored with the Spendthrift Trust. I have 2 pages of case law to give you. So I break this trust into 4 different ways. There's the business trust for business owners and 1099 income earners. They will save at least 70% on their federal taxes year after year, generation after generation. When they start taking deductibles, they will get up to 90 to 95 percentile. My 2022 tax return, I was at 92%. I'm not trying to crow. It's just what the trust has done for me. The beneficial trust is for any and all investors. Listen to this, investors. You will no longer pay short-term or long-term capital gains. I got in trouble. I got a payment plan with the IRS, hence the title of my podcast, Stop Paying Capital Gains Now. That's just me personally. No longer pay capital gains. You will no longer pay interest income if you are a passive investor, if you're doing creative financing, if you have notes, if you're a forex investor. You will no longer pay dividend income. If you're in the stock market, if you're a day trader, a futures trader, a binary trader, or an options trader. Options traders, you get taxed 40% on profits a year or less, 60 for a year or more. You will no longer pay rental income. Maybe it's short-term rental or long-term rental. I know you can take depreciation, but you're still going to keep your information private. And what if the renter's dog gets out and bites somebody? They come after you because you're the one with money, and you'll have the Spendthrift Trust. You don't have to worry about it. And then finally, royalties. If you are in the NFT world, if you are an author, a songwriter, or you have middle rights, you're going to save royalties year after year, generation after generation. I'm going to share my screen right now. This is an actual client of mine. I saw he saw a post of mine on TikTok way back in August of 2022. He was about to sell. He's an IT professional. He got into crypto way back, I want to say 2014 or something. He was going to sell several coins to pay for his son's education at New York State school, SUNY school. He didn't realize, actually, there were two sons, identical twin sons. They were going to two different schools. He didn't realize that when he went to go sell those coins, he would have to pay capital gains and pay that April 15th of 2023. We were able to get him not to sell the coins. He did have to fill out the paperwork and work with, I believe he was with Coinbase. It did take several weeks to change over his account at Coinbase. There was paperwork involved. His twin sons both got student loans for the time being, so they could go to school in September with no problem. And then when we got things worked out in October, he started up the trust. He sold the Bitcoin. He paid for the trust and then paid for his son's educations. Fantastic. He's in an investment group. He has talked to other investors, and they too have gotten the Spendthrift Trust because Bitcoin is considered capital gains. Most people don't realize how much their bill will be. If most of your taxes are going to be between 10% to 37%, 7 different layers. There's 4 different ways to file your taxes. Gets very confusing. Long-term capital gains will either be 15% or 20% on the profit. If you want to start saving taxes, federal taxes, either being a 1099 income earner or being an investor, or if you have a charitable trust, or if you're over 65 and you're concerned about IRMA, please make an appointment with me at www.thetrustisyou.com/scheduling. I am going live on October 10th, 4 p.m. East Coast time. I'm going to do a new slide deck, and I'm going to also open it up for Q&A. Thank you for watching my short videos. Have a beautiful day.